Hi, this is Sara Levin, the Artful Inker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm here to share this cute snail mail card with you. So let's set this aside and get to the creating. So for this card we're going to use the Snailed It bundle, which comes with the Snailed It stamp set and the Snail Dies. And they are in the January to June Stampin' Up! Mini Catalog in 2021, which has just gone live on January 5th. So I'm going to start with the stamps, and we're just going to ink with Memento. And going to stamp several images. And okay, so we'll do a couple of these guys, and let's do my other little snail. And I want a couple of these guys. I love that the snails are facing, different directions. That way you don't have to do mirror stamping to get snails going both directions. I think I want a second of him. His eyes aren't as black as I would like them to be. So let's do that again. Okay, that's much better. And then these great little toadstools and a little bit of greenery. There we go, picked up that center bit. Okay, and that won't matter that I've caught an edge there. Do you do that in your stamping? By the time we use the dies, it won't be relevant. Okay, so a couple of those. And then I've got my sentiment here, which is hello. And let's stamp that in here. Not pressing down. Don't want the letters to spread. And then I've got the little speech bubble here. And let's see if we can center this. Okay. And now we're ready for some coloring fun. So I've got my Stampin Blends. For my snails, I'm going to use Granny Apple Green, Pool Party, and Daffodil Delight. And we're just going to color one of each of these, and then I'll finish the rest off camera. And I'm just checking to make sure which one of these is which. I've got the dark Granny Apple Green that I'm going to start with. Why don't I move this up, and we'll just zoom in here, and I can move my cardstock around as necessary so that you can see. Okay, so I'm going to start on the eye stalk up here and with the dark right under the eyes, and we're not giving our snail bags under the eyes. We're just acknowledging that there might be some shadowing there. And same thing down along the bottom here. And then let's bring this up from the bottom. And part of the trick of blending is just to keep the ink wet. So when you put some down and you intend to blend it, don't ignore that it's there. And then, of course, the more times you go over an area, the more intense the shade will be. So, okay, so that's the belly, or whatever we want to call, of our snail or slug. And let's put that aside, and then we'll move on to our Daffodil Delight here. And we're just going to start in with the dark. And then blend it with the light. Trying not to get over saturated in each one of these cells. We don't want it to run out. And I'm going to switch to my bullet tip on the dark. And let's just bring that on down. Okay, and then let's get that bullet tip going right in here. And then we're going to play with a little bit of shading here to just try and create that curve that seems to be there. So we're going to leave a little bit of almost white space and darken the edges of this one. Okay, and then we need to color the inside of the spiral here. So I'm using the dark Daffodil Delight and coming all the way around. And then I'm going to come out with the light Daffodil Delight and just give it a kind of rough color and get rid of that hard line. Okay, so that's one down. Let's color our other snail. For the smaller snail, we're going to create his body in sort of a coastal cabana by using the light Bermuda Bay and then both of our pool party markers. And I'm checking my markers because I have the wrong caps on the wrong pens. So, okay, so let's start up under, let's do this one up here. Since this one wasn't as dark, we'll start up here under the eye stalks with the dark, the light Bermuda Bay, and then move with the pool party. You may want to do this whole area with a bullet tip, and then we're going to do the same kind of shading idea where we come in here with our darkest shade, trying not to draw straight lines. They're harder to blend. And then our pool party, and start and blend this out. And then I'm going to go with the light pool party. I need to put this on my order the next time. The pool party, I've used them a lot, and we're just going to take the bullet tip and get rid of that little bit of line up there with the Bermuda Bay and draw that down in a little bit more. Okay, so let's cap all these up and move on to the back, and I'm going to do that in Daffodil Delight, just like we did the last time. And this one's even easier. So we're going to use the bullet tip here. And I think I want some of that here. And let's just make sure I stay in the camera as I turn my paper. I find that easier to color sometimes. Okay, and then bring some of that shading in down here. Okay, so that's 2 of our pieces down, and let's color these toadstools and the greenery next. Since I've got the Granny Apple green right here, I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'm going to switch to my bullet tips. I use the brush tips out of habit, but these are small areas and the bullet tips will just be easier. Don't start more than you can do quickly with these. You don't want the your alcohol ink to dry. And I'm just giving each of these leaves a little two-tone shading. Quick and easy. Let's turn this so that I can reach all of these little places. Okay. Okay, and now time to color our toadstools. And we'll do that with Flirty Flamingo and Melon Mambo. We're going to start with the Melon Mambo. And let me get both of my markers uncapped. So let's start under here. And just bring in some of that shading. So just dragging in a little bit of the dark and then blending out with the light. And then I'm just going to go around the circles here, trying not to go on those circles. Okay, and then let's start some blending with this, with the light. Okay, and I was a little messy here, so I'm going to just color in that dot with my color lifter and see what it will do to push the color out. And I just want a little more shading here. Okay, so that's going to be our large toadstool, and then let's work with our flirty flamingo in the dark and light. And we're going to start by putting the dark in underneath here, and then I'm going to color this center piece dark all the way, and then bring the sides out in this lighter shade. And we're going to color this small one down here the same way, and do a couple of these in the dark, and then okay, and then let's see what we want to do for the stem here in the dark flirty flamingo, and I may do this one in the light flirty flamingo just to have a little variation. And let's add some of this in and blend it. Okay, and let's cap these up, and I want to add just a little bit of green to this here. So I'm just going to come right by these little grassy bits here and add some green in. So our packages need some color. Let's start with this one here, and we're going to use the Granny Apple Green. And I've got bullet tips on both of these, and we're just going to come down the sides here. And then let's bring that in with the light Granny Apple Green. These come as a pair when you order them. Okay, and we can cap those right back up. And then I'm going to use the bullet tip on the dark melon mambo to color in our little heart. Need to take my time so that it doesn't end up outside the lines. Okay, so then let's move this other guy back up into the frame, and we're going to use the Flirty Flamingo for our gift box on the bottom here, and I'm starting with the dark. I think this is large enough that I can use a brush tip on that. Okay, let's cap those back up. Now that I've pulled every cap off of both of them. And we'll go with a pool party package on top. So I'm going to use bullet tips for those. Okay, so now you see what these are going to look like colored. I'm going to finish the rest of them off camera and I'll be back. Okay, so next we're going to create a blended background on our piece of basic white. And I'm going to start with Bermuda Bay and using one of the blending brushes from the January to June Stampin' Up! Mini Catalog. You can find them in my store using the link in the description below. And I'm just starting off the edge each time so that any just very intense kind of blop of ink happens off my cardstock. And I just want to get an intense color. I like my intense color down on one end. So I'm okay. Now we're going to add some Coastal Cabana to our blend here. And let me, okay. And I'm just going to come right in on this same line and blend them together. Okay, and then I'm going to add some Daffodil Delight up here at the top. So I'm going to change my blending brush to one that I've used for yellows. These come in a 3-pack. Okay, and then I'd like a little more Bermuda Bay down here at the bottom. I'm going to finish blending and then I'll be back. Okay, so I have my blended layer here and a piece of thick basic white cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. And then I'm going to put the blended layer on with dimensionals. And you want to make sure that you're using plenty of those so that it's not sagging. Let's just pull these backing pieces off and we'll start and build our card. And I'm just going to use my grid paper to line up my base to make sure that it's straight. Okay, and then I've got all of those pieces that we stamped and colored at the beginning, and let's sort them out. So I would like these guys on dimensionals. Okay, and I'm going to put them down first. And I want to show a little bit of that Bermuda Bay down at the bottom and bring this just right out to the edge there. And the same thing with this one, but over on the other side. So I want to show a little bit of that Bermuda Bay blend. Okay, and then we're going to put this pretty big guy on. Give him a couple of dimensionals, and let's see if he's going to sit nicely there. So I'm going to start this way, and we're just going to build a whole slew of these guys in here. Okay, so this one I'm going to put down with multi-purpose glue. And tuck right in behind here. Trying to figure out how I'm going to get my last guy in. I think this guy is going to be on a dimensional as well, but we're just going to use dimensionals at the top. Let me put one up here under his eye stalk. And this way we can slide the other part down underneath here. We get the advantage of, oops, they're a little too close. And let's take this guy and give some adhesive to him all over before I push this one down. Okay. And then we're back to this guy and making sure that he's adequately supported with dimensionals. And I'm just trying to decide whether he's going to need a second one up at the top or not. I'm thinking no. This kind of reminds me or makes me think of what the post office must be like right now with all of the packages that are moving around. Okay, and then let's pop our sentiment up. I'm going to give it a third one here. We don't want it mashing down there at the top. And just our cute little snail mail card. Thanks for stopping in today. This was Sara Levin, the Artful Inker of theartfulinker.com. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the U.S. You can use my link in the description below to shop for all of these products. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like to be notified the next time I upload a video. Have a great day. Bye.